What is good? What is up? It's Jordan or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another video. Today we're gonna be breaking down the film of new Texans center Justin Britt. Nick Casserole has been getting the ball rolling this offseason, and before watching any of Britt's film, I really liked the deal he got. 1 year, $3.25 million with incentives to earn up to $5 million. These short-term, relatively low money deals are exactly what we need to give out this off season as we plan for the future and specifically 2022 when we'll have more cap space. So there's really not any risk with this deal we gave to Britt, and he'll be making less money than Nick Martin for better play on the field if a few things happen, and that's what I'm here to show y'all today. But if you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on the video. Now, let's break down the film of Justin Britt because the film don't lie. Britt has been an above average center from 2016 to 2018, and he's someone who won't make a lot of mistakes, whether it's blown blocks or penalties. However, in 2019, he did tear his ACL. Missed half of the season and the entire 2020 season. So there is some worry of how he looks after this major injury and recovery. However, with damn near 2 years off, there is good reason for optimism that he'll be looking like his old self. So let's start with what Britt does well, and the first thing is in pass protection. He's very good at IDing blitzes and stunts. Britt was instrumental in communicating with the rest of the offensive line for the Seahawks and Russell Wilson. As the center, he's the quarterback's best friend, and this ability to diagnose where pressure is coming from and how will be very helpful for a rookie quarterback who still needs to learn, some of those fine details. We can see that ability here where the Cardinals show an exotic look, mugging the A-gaps and potentially bringing a 7-man blitz. After the snap, this defensive tackle fools the left guard and draws him away from the blitz, creating a 3-on-2. No worries though, Britt is prepared. He anticipates it and helps pick up the blitzing safety until the guard gets back. Then Britt recovers back to block and drive the nose tackle out of the play and away from Russell Wilson. The Texans' offensive line has struggled big time with blitzes and stunts like these, and Britt's veteran presence plus quick mental processing should help in that regard. Here, the Bengals show an odd 5-man front with a linebacker standing up where a nose tackle would usually be. Britt can tell something's fishy, and the linebacker bluffs his blitz to try and occupy Britt as the defensive end and defensive tackle run a tackle and stunt, trying to win to the inside. But look at how quickly Britt processes the play. As soon as the linebacker starts backing up, he turns his head and looks for work. He picks up the stunt and gives Russ a clean pocket to work with. Britt's biggest benefits will be helping the Texans guards surrounding him. He can help clean up mistakes in pass pro, but also work in tandem in the run game. This takes me to the first thing that we need to see happen if we want better offensive line play out of Justin Britt than we got from Nick Martin. Scheme fit is huge with offensive linemen, and Britt succeeds best in an outside zone heavy scheme that utilizes his good lateral mobility. He's not, technically refined enough or blocks with enough physicality and nasty for a gap scheme, which the Seahawks actually often implemented. You can see from these yard per carry directional charts that the Seahawks had some Bill O'Brien-itis, loving to run the ball behind the center, but they weren't great at it, because that's not how Britt succeeds. However, he can be a positive in the run game if you ask him to work horizontally like in zone rather than vertically like in gap. Here, the Seahawks are going to run zone to the offensive's left, and Britt and the left guard are working a combo block on 72 to 56. Britt needs to work laterally over a gap to cross the face of the defensive tackle and take over the block so that the left guard can block the linebacker. They work this perfectly. The left guard gives a little help, Britt gets his head on the opposite side of the defensive tackle and is able to twist his body, making the defensive tackle's base narrower, thus he's weaker in his stance and off balance. So Britt can move him out of the gap, leading to a solid run. These lateral blocks are instrumental for zone schemes, which spread defenses out and create easier rush lanes. Here, Britt needs to combo this 3-tech which is a lot of ground to cover, but he makes it look easy. Britt is huge at 6'6", roughly 315, but when he's moving laterally, he's very quick on his feet. This helps him block linebackers at the second level, something Nick Martin and the whole Texans offensive line has struggled with for years. It's a major key for improving a run game as it helps turn those 4-yard runs into 10 yards or more. We've seen Britt combo off the 1 tech or the 3 tech, but this time he's just gonna go straight for the kill on the linebacker. He does good to square up to his target, making sure he doesn't miss, then gets his hands into the chest of Hassan Reddick, keeping him from helping contain outside and then shoving him to the dirt. Now, it's great that Britt is so good in these zone run schemes, but no offense in the NFL purely relies on one type of run. And I'll show why Britt doesn't excel in a gap scheme in a minute, but there was one very specific type of block that he can make in a power scheme that will help give the Texans a little bit of versatility so that the run game is not so damn predictable. I miss when the Texans used to run some power, pulling guards like Max Sharping and having success. Well, Britt can help let Max feast on these pulls because he's very good at making what's called a back block. The left guard has the 3 tech defensive tackle lined up versus him, but can leave him in pull because Britt blocks him instead. It's a good way to throw off the defensive tackle, and again, we see how Britt's lateral mobility and quickness aids him. Right off the snap, he takes 2 quick slides and is right at Michael Brockers. This block doesn't need to be, super physically imposing. You don't need to drive the defensive tackle out of their gap. Again, that's not what Britt is good at. But you do need to angle them away from the direction of the run, and Britt is very good at that. He's able to close his hips and turn his shoulders to the sideline, creating a wall that the defensive tackle can't get through. So we've talked about what Britt does well and how Tim Kelly needs to change the run scheme to maximize his talents. Now, let's show what else limits Britt and some of the things that I'm hoping new offensive line coach James Campen can iron out. Because if he can fix these, a few technical flaws, Britt can really be a stud center. So the biggest thing that hinders Britt is his pad level. He's tall at 6'6", and that makes it difficult to get low, win with leverage, and be powerful. You can actually see a good example of his poor pad level on a play where he works a double team quite well. Look at how Britt pops up out of his stance and starts leaning over with his head down. He bends by the waist instead of by the knees. Now he gets away with it here, but it hurts him big time on a consistent basis. Stronger defensive tackles are able to overpower him and not get pushed back because they win the leverage game. Britt allows the defensive tackle to hit him in the chest first, and on impact he gets stood up. Now Britt has no bend in his legs and can't drive the defensive tackle forward. These two issues, slow inside hands and pad level, make it very hard for Britt to succeed in the run schemes that rely on power and driving a defensive tackle out of his gap, because Britt can't play powerful this way. He's just not good when he has to deal with a big nose tackle one-on-one and struggles to sustain blocks and finish them. Here's one last play that really, it shows everything. Britt is leaning over way too much. His back shouldn't be slanted this way, and he only gets one hand inside the chest, the other on the defensive tackle's butt. Thus, he's not strong enough to sustain the block for longer than a second. He'll make contact on his blocks, sure, but rarely put someone in the dirt. And unfortunately, all the same issues I just talked about in the run game, we see in the pass game as well. While he's great at helping his guards when he doesn't need to block someone, he struggles when a nose tackle rushes him. Here he shoots up super high out of his stance and thus makes it harder to balance himself and remain strong when his nose tackle literally picks him up off the ground and tosses him aside. This also makes him very susceptible to quick moves where he needs to move his feet. Because he's so high here, when he needs to shuffle and slide his feet, he looks like he's stuck in quicksand. We saw earlier that it's not like Britt has slow feet. He can make lateral blocks in the run game with ease, but that's because he gets low, bends from the knees, and can be more agile. But he seems to forget those basic principles in pass pro. Nose tackles who have some quickness will give him serious problems. Here, Javon Hargrave is running a stunt to get Stephon Tuitt open, so he rushes hard to the outside shoulder of Britt. Britt lunges instead of moving his right foot to keep up, and he doesn't end up blocking either Hargrave or Tuitt. So Justin Britt is not a perfect player. And well, you just aren't going to get a perfect player on a 1-year deal for $3 million. Nick did his job. Now it's up to the coaching staff to do theirs. Tim Kelly needs to primarily run outside zone with the occasional power call and avoid gap schemes as much as possible. James Campen needs to help get Britt playing low instead of high, which will clean up a lot of the technical issues that we just saw. Now, the last thing I'd love to see out of Britt is just blocking with some more nasty and finishing plays. That has nothing to do with athletic capability, it's all in your mentality. He'll often get his hands on someone but won't block to the whistle. I noticed this a lot in the 7 games he played in 2019, but I think I have an answer as to why. Because on the second play in the first game of 2019, Britt got rolled up on and left the game due to injury. Now he returned on the next drive, but for the rest of the season leading up to his ACL injury, he didn't block with much nasty whatsoever, and it frustrated the hell out of me. So I watched a few games of his 2018 season to see if that was a common theme, or if he was just playing through an injury in 2019. And while I saw a lot of the same technical issues that made him struggle in certain aspects in 2019 as well, I did see him block with some more nasty. Take these 3 plays for example, and I mean this is just a different Britt. Someone who is actively searching for contact, giving multiple efforts, and putting defenders in the dirt. So hopefully now that he's 100% healthy and motivated to hit his incentives and earn $5 million instead of 3.25, Britt will be bringing that physicality that this Texans offensive line so desperately needs. There are some ifs, there are some things that need to happen for this to be a great signing, but overall it's a pretty riskless contract as it only is 1 year. And looking to the draft, I wouldn't let this signing of Justin Britt stop us from drafting a stud center like a Landon Dickerson, Creed Humphrey, Josh Myers, to be our guy of the future. And be on the lookout for more draft content coming soon. I know y'all love it and I'll be bringing it to y'all. Alright, that's going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed, please do hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on the video. Did you like the Justin Britt signing? Let me know. Huge shout out to all the Texans Thoughts team members. If you want to join the team, the link is in the description. Alright, take care everyone, come back for more, and remember, the film don't lie.